Hi, this is Sweet Jill. Back at you. I'm gonna do um, one of my favorite shows to watch is Housewives of Atlanta. I'm gonna do a recap of the Housewives of Atlanta show. It's one of my favorite shows to watch, and I thought maybe to do something different. I'm gonna do a recap of that show because I love that show. Out of all the Housewives, that one's my favorite. I don't really watch the other ones that much, but I love that one. It's got the black ladies on it. Anyway, first of all, I don't know how many of you guys caught the show last Sunday. The season started last Sunday. First of all, I noticed that Cynthia and Peter is getting a divorce, and what really caught my attention this time was her daughter. Her daughter was saying that she thought that she had a low self-esteem. Her daughter Noelle was saying that she thought that she had a low self-esteem because she just kept hearing her arguing with Peter all the time, and that kind of caught my attention. It's like, well, she said, I don't want you to think that I got a low self-esteem and all this stuff, but I don't know. I kind of got to marinating on that. And I'm like, we don't want to I said, well, you don't want to send a message to your child that when you're married, that the first sign of trouble or a little bit of sign of trouble comes along, you just throw in the towel. And because that's not the way marriage works. I mean, when you're married, you're supposed to do whatever you can to work it out. According to some biblical Bible scriptures, that you're supposed to try to do whatever you can to work it out, and the only biblical explanation for divorce is supposed to be adultery. So I don't know when she said that. It was like, I just felt like, she felt, her daughter felt that, because they was arguing so much, then, she was staying in the marriage because she had a low self-esteem. And I just thought that was, I was thinking, I said, well, like I said, we don't want to send the wrong message to our children in a marriage to say, well, soon as a little bit of trouble come along, you just throw in the towel and be done with it. You're supposed to do whatever you can to work things out. You're supposed to do whatever that you can do to try to work the marriage out. And you're not supposed to just throw in the towel as soon as you start having problems. So I couldn't help but to think, well, I said, did they really? Because, that her and Peter met and everything, and they was talking, and he seemed like, he still cared about her. He seemed like he still loved her and everything, and she seemed like she still cared about him. And so I was thinking, I said, I couldn't help but to think, I said, are they sure they tried the best they could? I said, are they sure that they really gave it the best shot that they had? So, I don't know, a lot of people, a lot of famous people, they're so quick to throw in the towel when they get married, and they don't, I know according to God that's the wrong answer, because you're not really supposed to just up and get a divorce like that. And so I just was thinking, I said, did they really give it all they had, or she's just getting tired of, they're just getting tired of each other. I mean, I think that he still loves Cynthia. I think that Peter still loves Cynthia. I can kind of see it in his eyes when he was talking to her. And I just think that she is just not giving it the marriage enough try. I just don't think that she's trying to hang on to the marriage enough. So I don't know. I just think that people are too quick, these celebrities and stuff. I just think that they're just too quick to throw in the towel. I think they're too quick to give up on marriage, and that Jehovah God does not approve of that, because He wants us to try to. The Bible says God hates divorcing, so He wants us to try to do whatever we can to work things out and stay in our marriage. Well, I don't know. With that being said, they said that she said that she didn't think that she was marriage material and all this kind of stuff. So I wonder if it's just a situation to where she's just tired of being married. Some people just get tired of being married and they feel like they want to be single again, and so they just give up. So maybe, I don't know if it's a situation to where she just is getting tired of being married. She wants to give up. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. You guys let me know in the comment section what you think about the Cynthia and Peter situation, but I don't know. I just get a feeling that Peter really still cares about her. Anyway, I'm moving on. But I noticed too, like last week, remember last week when Kendra invited the ladies over to her house, and her house wasn't finished. Moore Manor, and what's her name? I'm drawing a blank. The other lady, I can't think of her name right now. But anyway, I'm just really, really getting tired. This is the one thing, I don't know about you guys, but I'm really, really getting tired of. I noticed that this is a common thing. I've been watching the Housewives of Atlanta since it's been on, and I noticed this is a common thing. That I noticed that they're always comparing each other's houses. Oh, she's still renting, and I'm buying, and they're always talking about each other's houses. And, I just think that that's just ridiculous. And, it's just like the other Sheree, that's the name, drawing a blank. Sheree is supposed to be building her house, her house. It's called Chateau Sheree. She's been working on it for years. She was off the show for a few seasons. Now she's back. And Kendra invited everybody to her house, and it wasn't completely finished. So Sheree comes up in there. First of all, I don't even know why she would even invite Sheree in the first place, because Sheree is being a hater. She knows that Sheree is hating on her in her house. So why would she even invite Sheree in the first place? And I couldn't help but to wonder, I don't know about you guys, but I couldn't help but to wonder, was Bravo putting a little bit of pressure on Kendra to have the open house, so that just for ratings, because I know that certain amount of the show is scripted, and I wondered if they put a little pressure on Kendra to do it, because the house wasn't even finished. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, well, why would you have a housewarming party in a new house that's not even finished yet? Wouldn't you, common sense would tell you to make sure that the house is finished first and then have it? But she had it, and the house wasn't even complete, and then people was coming to the house, and they was making comments about the house and saying different things. And Sheree, that was just right up her alley, because she was like, oh, see, this is not done, that's not done, and she was just picking. And so I just couldn't help but to think, I wondered, did Bravo put pressure on her to do that earlier? So just for ratings, so they can get the ratings. And I don't know, because, these reality shows a lot of times are scripted. But anyway, and then she invited the rest of the ladies, but she didn't want Portia to come. Cynthia not Cynthia, the other lady, I'm forgetting their names, but she brought Portia, and she didn't want Portia to be there, so she kicked them out. Phaedra, that's her name. Phaedra brought Portia, and she didn't want Portia to be there, so she kicked Portia out. And I just really, now this week, this week, they got into an argument. This week they got into a confrontation about, she was like, Sheree was like, well, we could have helped each other and all this kind of stuff, knowing doggone well that she didn't want to help Kendra. Kenya, did I call her Kendra? Kenya. And, they gets into a confrontation and gets into an argument over each other's houses. And Sheree just keeps bringing up the fact that her house wasn't finished and all this kind of stuff. And then Kenya keeps saying how it took her X amount of years and her house was this. She kept saying her house was in her mom's name and all this kind of stuff. And I just couldn't help but to think. But I said, you know what? That's all these ladies know how to do. I said, why do they do that? Why are they always comparing? I said, it's just the maximum level of materialism. They're always talking about each other's houses, and what difference does it make? Are you building the house to impress somebody, or are you building the house for yourself? Or who are you trying to impress? I don't understand why they're always arguing about, well, her house is not paid for, she's renting, and all this kind of stuff. It's just like, what difference does it make? Life is not a contest. Life is not a contest. And they shouldn't be trying to compete with each other about whose house is better and all this. Is just ridiculous. And it's just ridiculous. And so this house war that's going on between her and Sheree is just ridiculous. Both of them have beautiful houses. Both of them are different styles of houses, different architectures. But both of them, I think both of their houses are beautiful. When Kenya's house is completely finished, it's going to be beautiful. It's not the kind of house that I would have, but, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful house. Chateau Sheree is beautiful, too. So I just think it's stupid. But, like I say, a lot of these reality shows, a certain amount of it is scripted. I guess they have to throw a fight in there, too, for ratings. But I just think it's stupid. I think, life is, like I said, it's not a contest. And I don't know why they're always constantly competing against each other for saying, oh, well, whose house is better and all that. I don't know. I'm just getting tired of black women fighting on TV. I don't like it when black women argue on TV. It makes us look bad as a race. It makes us look bad as a whole. We already get really, really stereotyped, and it just makes us look bad. Another thing that I noticed too. Now, last week, if you guys caught the show last week, I don't know why I'm forgetting everybody's names. The one that has the baby, the new baby, they put the baby on the toilet. The baby's not even a year old yet, and they put the baby on the toilet. And I remember that being in the blogs and how people couldn't understand why they was putting the baby on the toilet so soon and all this kind of stuff. And I was just kind of looking at that like, wow, really? First of all, I said, you know what? He's probably not going to be potty trained until he's 3 years old, because children do it when they're ready. They get, particularly little boys, they do it when they're ready. And I'm looking at them like, yeah, he's not going to be potty trained until he's 3 years old. I just thought that was a little bit too soon. He kind of had this look on his face like he had no clue as to what was going on. And it's just too early. It's just too early to potty train. And so I remember when they first showed pictures of him on Facebook and everything, and everybody was talking about it in the blogs. And no matter how early you try to potty train, particularly a little boy, they're going to do it in their own time. I had 2 boys. One of them, I put a little pressure on. The other one, I didn't. And they both were potty trained at the same age. Both of them were potty trained at 3. So at the end of the day, particularly little boys, they do it on their own. They do it in their own time. So that's basically how it is. So, it's just, and then they showed Mama Joyce and them, you know, they trying to open up a restaurant um, for her and her sisters, you know, to cook in and everything. And they was talking about how the restaurant wasn't finished, and um, Mama Joyce was talking about Phaedra's she was saying that she didn't believe the situation and why the divorce was taking so long for her to divorce Apollo, because according to Georgia law, that if your husband is incarcerated, you can divorce within 2 months. And they verified that, you know, reading the law and everything. And so my thought was, I was thinking, well, maybe she wasn't sure whether she wanted to get the divorce now. Maybe she was, you know, kind of praying about it and marinating on it, and maybe she wasn't sure that she wanted to get the divorce right away, and maybe that's why it's taking so long. So I just thought that she was just kind of picking and making too much of a big deal out of that. And she probably has her reasons why she's just now seeking a divorce. And it's probably because she was undecided and, you know, just wasn't ready to make that decision. I mean, sounds like it's probably right to me. So I just think that Mama Joyce was kind of picking, you know. It's like, well, and I just think that, you know, that was her decision to make, you know, and nobody could make that decision for her. And so, I don't know. I just, I kind of miss Nene not being on the show. She was like one of my favorite people to be on the show. I'm kind of hoping that she'll make an appearance or whatever. I'm hoping that maybe she'll make some type of appearance. I kind of miss her being on the show. But you guys let me know what you think about this week's show. I thought maybe I'd do something different, do a little bit of recap, because that's one of my favorite shows to watch. So I just want you guys, you know, let me know what you think about the Housewives, the show this week, and some of the stuff that took place. Okay, more interesting videos coming up. Just a sweet June.